Join me for the new moon update in Vedic astrology so that you can use your divine gifts in committing to the inspiration that you have had over this new year, and it is time to get committed and to bring it down into embodiment and bring it forward. Join me. Hello, Prema Gurreri, Vedic astrologer, soul purpose mentor, and welcome to the energy update, the new moon in January 2018. So happy new year, first of all. And this new moon is really calling us to honor divine time and move our inspirations into commitment. So each new moon starts a new 30-day cycle, and you want to sort of plant your seeds just like you would in the garden, although it's not in the northern hemisphere, it's not quite planting time, but you want to plant the seeds of what it is that you want to grow, but you've got to make a commitment to those seeds. And those, we go through a 30-day cycle with each new moon. So I want you to really be aware of what's been inspiring you over the last month, and even the last couple of months. What's really been inspiring you? I've been talking about making sure your inspiration isn't coming from your fear, that what is inspiring you is actually something you want to live into, embody, and bring out in the world, because this particular new moon and the nakshatra, this is Vedic astrology where it is placed, is really calling us to have this deep level of going within, this introspection, calling us to focus deeply. And we have to be able to go within to focus deeply. We have to be able to shut out all the noise, the static, the social media, the connections, all that stuff. We have to be able to turn that dial way down in order to hear our own inner voice, in order to hear our own guidance. If you're working with your sacred wealth code, in order to hear your own sacred wealth code, and to really be able to also hear, know, and see your fears and be able to distinguish those from your inspirations and your desires. When you have an inspiration, it is not uncommon to have a fear come up with it or several come up with it. And this month is prime time to take a look at those fears. So with this energy, if we're committed, we will actually commit it to our inspiration and commit it to moving anything out of the way that's keeping us from that. We will actually be victorious over that. If you think about a commitment, one of the things that it tends to bring up is long term. Like when you think of commitment, it's like, okay, no, we got to think about this, whether it's a contract, whether it's marriage, whether it's a job that you're taking, whether you're committing to your new business or finally taking your purpose and making it a movement in the world. It's something you need to stick. Parenthood, that you're going to have to stick with. I don't want you to shy away from commitment. Without that grounded energy of Capricorn and commitment, we wouldn't bring a lot into fruition. So with coming through the new year, I want to invite you to really look at what is it that you've intended for yourself this year. What are your goals? What are your inspirations? What are your deep soul callings, as I like to work with them in that way? And what are you really ready to get committed about? You may feel with something that you're getting committed about that it's, sometimes there's a hesitation for commitment because maybe you got committed to something that you thought was really for you and it didn't pan out, or you weren't able to ride through the commitment. Let that stuff come up. Get wondrous like a child, because this placement happens to bring up our more serious sort of issues and fears and those deeper issues. And the beautiful thing about when they come up is that you can take a look at them, because we need to get fully embodied in whatever it is that we are creating, whatever, the inspiration that's come through. So when I had the inspiration to write Your Sacred Wealth Code, for instance, my book, that inspiration was loud and clear. So what did it take for me to do that? Was to have the commitment to the project, the commitment to the downloads that wanted to come through, the commitment to take the time, which was in divine time, not necessarily in my timeline, but it was, it had sort of a life of its own. It actually came on a really pretty quick timeline. But when you honor the commitment to follow a project through, a lot's going to come up, just like a relationship. Think about a long-term relationship. Things come up, but if you know you're in it for the long run, you're willing to deal with those things. So I want to invite you to pick at least one of your inspirations for this year. And are you ready to commit? Which one are you ready to commit for? And are you willing to suspend all of your notions around time? So we have Chronos and we have Kairos time. So that doesn't mean you don't have milestones, you don't set goals, but it's where you also pay attention to the flow and the energy. Let's think of time as a structure. It's more of a masculine principle. Let's think of energy and flow as a more feminine principle. In order to bring energy of an inspiration down into the commitment of whether it's a book, a business, a piece of art, whatever it might be, you've got to be able to flow that energy in so that it creates some kind of form. So you want to put some structure around how you're going to do that. But to stay in divine timing, you're also willing to be very attuned to the fact of when the structure needs to shift and change to accommodate the inspiration, not to accommodate your fear, to actually accommodate the inspiration. And that's very different. So one of the things you want to do with whatever it is that you are committing to, and the energy this month is going to really support you with this, notice what fears you have. What are the fears that I have to commit to this? Let them come up. Let them, bring them out into the light. These are the fears you want to bring into your meditation. You want to sit deep within and really open up to what is it that you're really afraid of. A lot of times it's our greatness. It's not our shortcomings. So I want to invite you to understand what the fears are. And when you start to make friends with your fears, first of all, just bringing them into the light, because awareness precedes change. And when you are aware, then you're in the malleable place of your consciousness and then in your mind. It's a very malleable place. It's a deep permeation. So let's think of it this way. Inspiration, like some of the energy we had in the last month, comes in through your crown chakra. It comes in, like I call, through your Grace bank account, and it just drops in. Where did it come from? It came from your divine self. And then it came from the collective. You were supposed to receive that inspiration. Now, when you bring it into your mind, which is the energy we have now, you can start to face your fears around it. You can start to put some structure around it, but you want to sit with it. And eventually, the next phase and the next energy we'll go into is bringing it down into full embodiment. And you can't bring it down into full embodiment until you have sat with it, brought it in, and got your heart on board. In fact, your heart is the bridge between your inner and outer world. Your first three chakras, your first, second, and third from the bottom up, are your worldly physical chakras. Those are the ones that when you go to express yourself in the world or make a choice, you've got to animate your energy through those chakras. Yes, they're denser, but you've got to have your third chakra, your solar plexus, available to you. And I kind of call that your core and the root of your heart. Your heart has got to be on board with any inspiration, or you will not make the real world structured, physical, grounded commitments to bring it forward. And that's what it takes. So bring it into your heart. Take this time that this next month is really supporting you in deep introspection, going within, some solitude. And, meditation is perfect for that. If you have a hard time with that, then let that come to the surface. I don't want you to feel isolated, which is the shadow side of solitude. But in bringing that inspiration in, and sitting with it, clearing out any of the fears. And then you can start to step into the inspired action steps that will bring it forward in the world. And that is going to be where you're going to want to activate your passion and your purpose, because that will allow you to have the energy and the commitment to what you're really here for. So again, this is like planting the seeds, and we've got to sort out anything that'll keep those seeds from growing, and then commit to whatever it takes. Maybe, maybe we're going to get a frost and we've got to put a frost blanket down on something, or the sun's really too strong and we've got to create some shade. We want to create the right environment. So that inspiration comes in and drops into your mind. It's very malleable there, but things come up there, so we want to sort them out. So use this deep time. One of the reasons that we're getting this deep focus is not only because of the placement in Vedic astrology of where the moon is and the lunar mansion it's in, Uttara Ashada. It is also because the south node of the moon, Ketu, the mystic, is there. And the mystic is always going to call us to really focus. And we want to make sure we're focused on bringing our inspiration forward and not focused on the fear that it might activate in doing so. So what do you do with the fears? I teach a lot about that in my Sacred Wealth Circle and also in the Sacred Wealth Business Academy. And one of the things you want to do is step into your gifts. For every fear you have, there is a gift you have too. And you want to activate the opposite side. You want to activate that gift and step more into using that gift energy instead of feeding the fear energy. Again, awareness precedes change. It needs to happen from the inside out. If you stay true to, your truth, your inspirations, and really align with truth, what's going to happen is things may not happen in exactly the timing you want, but you will be victorious. That's what this new moon really brings. You will rise to the top. It will come into fruition in the right way that's best for you if you open up to the divine timing around that. How do you sense divine timing? By the obstacles you bump into. Are they, is this truly a no? Is it a fear getting in the way? Or is it just a bump in a road? And you have to tune in regularly to be able to tune into that. So love to hear you post about, share a comment about what's your inspiration? What's the commitment that what are you committing to? Any bumps in the road, fear or obstacles that you may be coming up against? And what's a gift that will help you override that fear? This is a very strong placement. You have the strength within you to bring your deep inspirations forward, and we need that more than ever. If you'd like to really know what your gifts are, you can click the link below, or you can head over to my website, solutionary.com, SOULUTIONARY, and you can grab your Sacred Wealth Code reading. All right, so much love to you, so many blessings, and it's your time, and we need you more than ever.